Captain Kirk, 1986 here, bringing you my newest deck profile. It is a scrap deck. You'll see that it's similar to the one that just recently topped YCS Orlando with a few different tech choices. So I'll go through the deck and then explain some of the combos, etc. at the end. Gorz, the Emissary of Darkness. I'm playing this instead of one of the effect veilers. It just wins games and saves OTK plays, so I like the Gorz. The two Meklord Emperor Granels. It's ridiculous at what it does. It basically special summons when a face-up monster on your side of the field is destroyed, and you special summon it. It gets attack equal to half your life points, and then you can take one synchro monster. You can equip one synchro monster on your opponent's side of the field per turn, and you can special summon one synchro monster that's equipped to this card per turn in face-up defense position. So take Stardust, attack, special summon it in defense position. It's just ridiculous, and it's Earth, so you can use it with Scrap Beast to go into Naturia Beast. Neo-Spacian Granel is the other card instead of Effect Veiler from the top deck. I think it's better overall. It doesn't stop the OTK, but it can bounce hard to get past synchro monsters like Xian and Stardust Dragon, so I just really like it. 3 Reborn Tengu. While I can play 3 in scraps, I will. I think this card should be semi-limited to 2, just like Destiny Hero Malicious, but until it gets hit, you have to play 3 in scraps. 1 Sangan. It searches out a lot of cards in the deck. It searches out the Meklord Emperor Granels, the Grand Mole, the Summoner Monk, the Scrap Goblins. And you can pop it and get the effect off of it. 2 Scrap Beast, the 4-star tuner. 3 Scrap Chimera, pretty much free Scrap Dragon. 2 Scrap Goblins. 1 Scrap Golem. 1 Scrap Orthros. And then 1 Summoner Monk. A lot of people question Summoner Monk, but again, it's a -1, but it's a free Scrap Dragon as well. And that's the monsters. There's 18s, the spells. Book of Moon. Dark Hole. Giant Trunade. Mind Control. Monster Reborn. Double MST. Double Pot of Duality. Scapegoat. It's used for defensive purposes and for synchro summoning purposes, or you can use it just to put monsters to pop with Scrap Dragon. But it allows you to go into Naturia Beast, Naturia Barkion, and Naturia Landoise, and with running 16 spells, Naturia Landoise is a ridiculous card to have. 3 Scrapstorm. Scrapstorm is ridiculous. Yeah, that's all I can say with it right now. There's so many good combos with Scrapstorm. Scrapyard. If you're running Orthros, you're going to play 3 Scrapyards, because if you start with a Scrap Beast and a Scrapyard, or Orthros and a Scrapyard, you pretty much get to have a monster on the field and a Scrap Chimera in your hand with, a level 4 tuner Scrap in the graveyard, so you can go to Scrap Dragon the next turn. So yeah, you have to play 3 now. And then for the traps, 1 Call of the Haunted, 1 Dust Tornado, 1 Fiendish Chain, 2 Royal Decree, and 2 Solemn Warning. The reason I'm not playing the Solemn Judgment and I'm playing the Dust Tornado instead, Dust Tornado is, you don't have to have it before they do something. So like in the Gravekeeper matchup, Dust Tornado is a better card in that matchup because if they get Necro Valley, like if they go first, they get Necro Valley. Well, Solemn Judgment doesn't do you any good now, and there's really nothing else in that deck you want to Solemn Judgment besides Necro Valley. So I think Dust Tornado is a better card to start with than Solemn Judgment. So if anything, the Solemn Judgment will be sided if I need it. But for now, I'm just going to stick with playing the Dust Tornado main deck. There wasn't really any surprises in the spell cards, so not really a whole lot to explain there. For the monsters, Scrap Golem, a lot of people are going away from playing Scrap Golem at all. I still think 1 is good because once you get a Scrap Chimera in the graveyard and you can recycle it, the next thing you dump with Scrapstorm will be Scrap Golem. So you'll, like, if you Scrapstorm anything, the next card you're going to dump is Scrap Golem. And the reason you dump Scrap Golem is because if Scrap Dragon gets destroyed, then you just select Scrap Golem, bring Scrap Golem out. Scrap Golem will allow you to take either Scrap Goblin or Scrap Beast. So you can either go into another Scrap Dragon or another 8-star, or you can go into Scrap Twin or another 9-star, which you're not going to do that right now, but because nobody's playing Landrake or whatever that card, Naturia Landrake. But yeah, so it's a great card to plus off of Scrap Dragon. Plus, it's a 2300 attacker. Now, the cool combos with Scrap Orthros and Scrap Beast. So, let's say you start with a Scrap Beast, a Scrapyard, and a Scrapstorm in your hand. So, what you're going to do, summon Scrap Beast, play your Scrapyard, search out Scrap Orthros. Special summon Scrap Orthros, target Scrap Beast. Chain Scrapstorm, target Scrap Beast. So you're going to be targeting them both with the Scrapstorm. So you're going to end up sending a Scrap Chimera to the graveyard. Scrap Beast goes to the graveyard. You get to add a card back to your hand. You get to add Scrap Chimera. And then you get to draw cards. You actually ended up with a 0, but you ended up with a Scrap Chimera in your hand. So you have this in your hand, and then you got the Scrap Beast in the graveyard right now. And you have a 1700 attacker on the field. So next turn you're sitting really well to, if they don't have that Solemn Warning, go boom, boom, synchro, which you're going to synchro this way. I guess it really doesn't matter which way you synchro because you're probably going to pop the other one. And then guess what? Oh, you get to grab Scrap Chimera back to your hand again. Hey look, you're still not even a minusing yourself. It's just ridiculous the combos that this deck has. Otherwise, like what Scrap Dragon can do, the reason why I like Dust Tornado, etc. You have Dust Tornado set in your back row. You activate Scrap Dragon to target this card and one other card. You chain Dust Tornado, target like the Necro Valley. So now their Necro Valley is going to get destroyed, and this is going to get destroyed. And whatever other card was targeted with Scrap Dragon is going to be destroyed. So you actually get the plus out of that too. It's just ridiculous the combos that can happen with this. And now that this is ridiculous because of Scrap Orthros, if you open up with a tuner and Scrapstorm and then possibly like Scrapyard, it's just the ridiculous combos that you can go off with this deck. So let me know what you guys think of the main deck. The extra deck is pretty standard, and I haven't determined a side deck yet. So let me know any comments, suggestions, rate fixes. Otherwise, thanks for watching.